English, you would say, we're going to the park. I'm talking to my friend. Of course, you know that to is required before the noun. But did you know there are many common words in English that don't require to? Today you'll learn why you should never add to these common words. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started. What do you think about this sentence? I'm going to home. I hear this from my students, even my most advanced students, but this sentence is incorrect. You must say, I'm going home. So never add to before the noun home. But what do you think about these sentences? I'm going to work, I'm going to school, I'm going to the party, or even I'm going to bed. These sentences are all correct. It would be grammatically incorrect to say, I'm going work. The correct sentence structure is the verb go, of course conjugated with the subject, the preposition to, and the specific location like to work or to the party. You're probably wondering, but Jennifer, why is it correct to say I'm going home and is incorrect to say I'm going to home? The English language is full of exceptions to rules, and the word home is one of those exceptions. Here, the correct sentence structure is the verb go, conjugated with the subject, plus the word home. Based on that, what do you think about these sentences? I'm going his home. I'm going my house. I'm going her condo. These sentences are all incorrect. The exception is only for your home, which is why the first sentence is incorrect. And the exception is only for the word home, not house, condo, or any other term. To make these correct, you need to add to after go and say, I'm going to his home, to my house, to her condo. Don't worry about taking notes. I summarize everything in a free lesson PDF. You can find the link in the description. What do you think about this sentence? We reached to the airport on time. This sentence is incorrect. You must say we reached the airport on time. This is simply the correct sentence structure in English. The verb reach doesn't require the preposition to. It's simply the verb reach, of course conjugated with the subject, and the specific noun. In this case, a location, the airport. I hear this mistake every day from my students, even my most advanced students. So make sure you say, I reached the airport. What do you think about this sentence? We got to the airport on time. This sentence is correct. These two sentences mean the same thing, but the sentence structure is different. We reached the airport, we got to the airport. And of course, you can say, with Jennifer's help, I will reach my fluency goals. Of course, you can reach a goal, not reach to. I'll reach my fluency goals. Do you agree with that? If you do, put that's right, put that's right in the comments. Don't say I've contacted to your manager. The verb contact doesn't require the preposition to. Simply say I've contacted your manager. So contact plus noun. Of course, in every case, your verb needs to be conjugated with the subject and time reference. You can say, I've contacted the office, for example. Now, this can seem confusing because yes, you must say, I've talked to your manager, because in this case, the sentence structure is talk plus to plus noun. So just remember, the preposition to is required, but it depends on the verb. So the verb talk requires it. The verb contact, reach, don't require it. Do not say, can you email to Jennifer? But you can say, can you email Jennifer? You can also say, can you send an email to Jennifer? What's the difference between these two sentences? In the first sentence, email is a verb. And in the second sentence, email is a noun. The verb in this case is send. Now, as a verb, when email is a verb, you just need the verb email plus the noun. In this case, the person receiving the email. But as a noun and email, you need the verb send, conjugated, the noun and email, plus the preposition to, plus the noun, in this case, the person receiving the email. This also applies to the verb text. So don't say, can you text to Jennifer? Because here it's a verb. So say, can you text Jennifer? But you can use it as a noun and say, can you send a text to Jennifer? You can also replace email or text with message. Don't say, can you message to Jennifer? That's the verb. Can you message Jennifer? Or you can use it as a noun. Can you send a message to Jennifer? Are you enjoying this lesson? If you are, then I want to tell you about the Finally Fluent Academy. This is my premium training program where we study native English speakers from TV, movies, YouTube, and the news so you can improve your listening skills of fast English, expand your vocabulary with natural expressions, and learn advanced grammar easily. Plus, you'll have me as your personal coach. You can look in the description for the link to learn more, or you can go to my website and click on Finally Fluent Academy. Now let's continue with our lesson. But don't say, can you phone to Jennifer? You simply use this as the verb and say, can you phone Jennifer? Instead of phone, you can say, can you call Jennifer? But there is no noun form, so you wouldn't say, can you send a call to Jennifer? That is not correct. Here's one I hear a lot, but it's incorrect. So don't say, I'm so happy to join to the team. Simply say, I'm so happy to join. That's the infinitive, but you join something, to join the team. So no to after the verb join because it's just join plus noun. Now, this is confused because you would say, I'm so happy to belong to the team. So with this verb belong, you need the preposition to and then a noun, for example, team. In a general sense, you can say, I belong to a great team. But you can't say, I join a great team, because join describes the moment of becoming part of a group. It's not an ongoing state. So you could conjugate it in the past simple, I joined a great team, or you can see it as a planned future action or an action in progress, I'm joining a great team. Don't say, yes, I'll marry to you. Simply say, yes, I'll marry you. She said yes! Because here the verb is marry, but you marry someone. You don't marry to someone, you marry someone. But this is confusing because we have the common sentence structure, I'm married to Brad. But notice here, this is different. It's to be married plus to plus noun, the person you're married to. Now you can say, I'm getting married to Brad. So instead of be married, which describes the current state, you can use get married, which describes the transition from not married to married. So get married plus to plus noun. You can even say, I'm engaged to Brad. So here is be engaged plus to plus the noun. Or you can say, Brad and I are married. So in this case, the subjects come first, so there's no preposition to. We are married. Noun plus noun, the verb be conjugated, married. Don't say she entered to the office. Just say she entered the office because the verb enter is followed by the noun. But you would say we went to the office. We've already reviewed the verb go. This is just conjugated in the past simple. Remember, you go to a location except when it's home, and then you simply go home. Here's another one I hear all the time. The store is near to the park. No, the store is near the park because the sentence structure is near plus noun. The preposition to is not required, but it is required in this sentence. The store is close to the park. So here we have close to plus noun. What if I said to you, that book is very near to my heart? You may hear this sometimes. This is used idiomatically to say that something is important to you. But idiomatically, we're not talking about proximity of locations like the store is near the park. Don't say we're approaching to the station, just say we're approaching the station. Here we have the verb approach plus the noun. But you could say we're almost at the station, we're near the station, we're close to the station. There are different ways of saying the same thing, and you have to understand the specific sentence structure of each expression that you're using. Don't say she answered to the question. Simply say she answered the question. Answer plus noun. But what if your boss comes in and says to you, you need to answer to the client? Ooh. This is used idiomatically as well. It means you are accountable to the client. You are responsible for providing information to the client. So here the sentence structure is answer to and then someone, the noun. You may hear, for example, the government must answer to the public. But this isn't the same as saying you need to answer the client, which means you need to respond to the client's question or request. Did you notice with respond, yes, you respond to someone or respond to something, but you just answer someone or answer something like a question. Don't say we attended to the meeting. Simply say we attended the meeting. So here it's attend plus noun. But of course you could also say we went to the meeting, and you already know that to is required. Amazing job. Now to is one preposition option. Other common prepositions are about, for, with, on. And now you'll learn why you should never add prepositions to these common words. What do you think about this sentence? Let's discuss about the new policy. I hear this from students, even my most advanced students, but this sentence is incorrect. You must say, let's discuss the new policy. Notice the sentence structure is discuss, the verb discuss, plus something. The sentence structure is not discuss plus about plus something. So never add a preposition to the verb discuss. In our example, the something is the new policy, which is a noun. You could also say, let's discuss changing the new policy. Notice here that a gerund verb, changing, directly follows discuss. So the sentence structure is discuss plus something, and the something can be a noun, the new policy, or a gerund verb, changing the new policy. Now you might be wondering, Jennifer, why can't I add a preposition? The truth is that English sentence structure follows different patterns for different verbs. Unfortunately for you, there isn't a logical rule that works every time. You must memorize the specific sentence structure of each verb. But don't worry, that's why I'm here to help. So put let's go, put let's go in the comments if you're ready to keep learning. What do you think about this sentence? Please remember about the instructions. This sentence is incorrect because remember doesn't require a preposition before the object, the instructions. You remember something. You don't remember about something. So you must say, please remember the instructions. You could also say, please remember to email the instructions to the client. Here, the word to is an infinitive marker, not a preposition. It's part of the infinitive to email. When you say, I'm going to the store, here, to is a preposition. So the preposition to is required with go to describe movement. What do you think about this sentence? What do you remember about your first day at work? This sentence is correct. In this case, the sentence structure is remember plus about plus something. In this sentence structure, the meaning is slightly different. We use this to recall past details. So I'm recalling the details of my first day at work. You can say she remembers a lot about the instructions. She recalls these past details. Or you can say, she remembers the instructions. In this case, without the preposition, it means she hasn't forgotten them. And without the preposition, the something, the instructions, is the thing being remembered. You can't say, we'll await for your reply. You must say, we'll await your reply. Now, I hear this from students because, of course, you must say, we'll wait for your reply. But I also hear from students, we'll wait your reply, which is incorrect. So unfortunately, I also see students making mistakes by omitting a required preposition. I hear many students say, even my most advanced students, I'm waiting you. I'm waiting you. But this is incorrect. You must say, I'm waiting for you. Now, if you're wondering what await means, you can think of it as the more formal wait. So only use await in formal writing or speaking because it would sound unnatural in everyday English to say, I'll await you. And remember, not remember about, just remember, it's await plus something, wait plus for, the preposition for, plus something. Don't say, I'll accompany with you to the station. You must say, I'll accompany you to the station. So don't add a preposition. Students often confuse this because you must say, I'll go with you to the station. And you can think of accompany as the more formal go with. So you might ask, who accompanied you to the conference? This is like asking who went with you to the conference. Or you might say, I'm accompanying my grandmother to her medical appointment. I'm going with my grandmother to her medical appointment. So remember, accompany, no preposition, but go with, you use a preposition. Don't say we're considering about your offer. What do you need to say? Simply, we're considering your offer. Of course, this is an easy mistake to make because you know, I'm sure you know, you must say we're thinking about your offer. And to think about means the same thing as consider, but the sentence structures are different. To consider plus noun, we're considering a new supplier. You can also commonly use to consider plus gerund. I'm considering switching jobs. And remember to conjugate your verb with the subject and time reference. So here, the verb consider is in the present continuous because it's taking place now. So yes, you have to think about the preposition, but you also have to think about the rest of the grammar, including your verb conjugation. Don't say they demanded for an explanation. Simply say they demanded an explanation. So here, no preposition with demand. You might say customers demanded a solution from the company. So here the sentence structure is to demand plus something, a solution, plus from, plus someone or something. But that part is optional. So if you don't include the someone or something, then you wouldn't use the preposition from. You could say he demanded an apology, or he demanded an apology from his company. So in that case, it's a something. His company is a something. His boss would be a someone. You will also very commonly say they asked for an explanation. So in this case, you ask for something. You must use the preposition for. To demand, this is firm. It's a stronger tone. To ask for, this is neutral. It's a softer tone. Don't say they requested for more time. What do you need to say? They requested more time. You request something, no preposition. You can say she requested an extension, and the same thing we just learned, you could include from plus someone or something, from her boss, but that's optional. So remember, to demand, this is firm, it's a stronger tone. To ask for is a neutral, softer tone. And to request is the formal ask for. Consider the difference in tone between I requested an extension, this is neutral, softer tone. I demanded an extension. This is a firm, stronger tone. But both of them don't take prepositions. Don't say he emphasized on the deadline. You must say he emphasized the deadline. So you emphasize something. You might say she emphasized the importance of communication. Now keep in mind there is an alternative phrase that's very common. She put emphasis on the importance of communication. So in this sentence, yes, you must use a preposition. Remember, to emphasize plus something. To put emphasis plus on, the preposition on, plus something. In our first example, she emphasized the importance of communication. Emphasize is a verb. You can tell because it's conjugated in the past simple. In our second example, she put emphasis on the importance of communication. Emphasis is a noun. Put is the verb. It's also in the past simple, but it's an irregular verb, and all three forms are put. And notice that pronunciation difference. The verb, emphasize, a voiced sound at the end, emphasize. And the noun, emphasis, an S sound, unvoiced, emphasis. Don't say, the report lacks of detail. You would say, the report lacks detail. So you may say, our team lacks time. Our team lacks resources. Those are very common statements. Now there is an expression that uses a preposition. You could say, our team is short on resources. Have you heard this expression? To be short on plus something. And this simply means that you do not have enough. And this is commonly used with time, money, patience, ideas. So you can say, I'm short on time this week. Or you could say, I lack time this week. But don't add a preposition to lack. Don't say, I'll handle with it. Simply say, I'll handle it. I'll handle it. So you handle something. I'll handle the email. She handled the situation calmly. But there is an expression that uses a preposition and it means the same thing. Do you know what it is? She dealt with the situation calmly. So to deal plus with, that's the preposition plus something. Don't say costs exceeded over the budget. Simply say costs exceeded the budget. So exceed plus something, the noun. Sales exceeded expectations. That's a great thing to say. Or you might say, we're handling the situation to ensure the project exceeds expectations. So to exceed, this is to be higher than. So if my expected results are 7 out of 10, but the real results are 8 out of 10, then you could say the project exceeded my expectations. They're higher than. Don't say, please mention about the new supplier, because mention does not take a preposition, so you must say, please mention the new supplier. Or you could say, she mentioned the problem in the meeting. You could also use the phrasal verb to touch on. Now, a phrasal verb is a verb plus preposition, so of course there's a preposition here, and you must use the preposition. You could say, she touched on the problem in the meeting. So to touch, that's the verb, plus on is the preposition, plus something. And this is used to say to briefly mention. For example, I've touched on the importance of conjugating your verbs. I didn't go into detail, I just briefly mentioned it. I could also simply say, I've mentioned the importance of conjugating your verbs. Don't say she resembles to her mother. You must say she resembles her mother. He resembles his father more than his mother. Do you know what this means? Well, resemble is the more formal look like. So you see a picture of the mother, you see a picture of the daughter, and they're similar. Wow, she resembles her mother. She looks like her mother. Don't say, this job doesn't suit to me. You must say, this job doesn't suit me. Now, suit is the more casual compliments. You can say, that color suits you perfectly. So it complements your hair, your skin tone, your eyes, for example. You could equally say, that color complements you perfectly. So in both of those, no preposition. But you could say, that color looks great on you. Don't say, they opposed to the decision. You must say they opposed the decision. So don't add a preposition. You could say many citizens oppose the new law. They don't support it. But listen to this sentence. Many citizens are opposed to the new law. So in this case, the sentence structure is to be opposed plus to, which is the preposition, plus something. This describes your current state. You could also say to oppose plus something. So in this case, oppose is the verb and there's no preposition. This describes your action. I'm opposed to moving. That describes my current state. I oppose moving. This sounds more like an action. Don't say the policy affects on everyone. Simply say the policy affects everyone. You could say the news affected him deeply. You could equally say the news had a deep effect on him. But of course, this is a different sentence structure because affect is a verb and affect is a noun. And with the noun, it's to have an effect plus on the preposition and then something or someone. Hopefully you would say Jennifer's classes have a positive effect on my fluency. Using the verb, you could say Jennifer's classes positively affect my fluency. Both are correct, and hopefully you feel that way. Don't say firefighters face with dangerous conditions every day. Simply say firefighters face something, no preposition, face dangerous conditions every day. Face is the more formal deal with. So you can say I'm facing something, a tough situation at work. I'm dealing with something, a tough situation at work. Now keep in mind there is a sentence structure that uses a preposition. To be faced with plus noun or gerund. This is the passive form. So faced is the adjective and then you use with. Firefighters are faced with dangerous conditions every day. Using this structure emphasizes the circumstances they encounter. Now you know how to correctly use these 16 common words. Do you want me to keep helping you improve your grammar? If you do, put let's go, put let's go in the comments. And of course, make sure you like this lesson, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. And here's another lesson I know you'll love. Watch it now.